First of all, Russia ratified the Council of Europe Convention for the Protection of Individuals with regard to automatic processing of personal data. We actually signed the convention in 2001, but it came into force for us only in last September. It took us a while to implement all the technical regulations that needed to be in place. So the main body of law, actually, while the right to privacy is mentioned in various legal acts, including, of course, the Russian Constitution, the main body of law is the data protection law, which dates back to 2006. And we underwent a major reform in 2011. And it is in 2011 that actually the legislators have tried to put in all the safeguards that they deemed necessary into the law, and they had to postpone coming into force of these safeguards of the law in this part because the business community was just not ready to implement those measures. Another legal act that we need to mention is the Labor Code, which has a special section on employee data protection. It is now basically brought in consistence with the data privacy law. However, it does include more stringent provisions with respect to employees' data, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. There are various special laws that deal with special categories of data or special categories of data subjects. For example, a special law on fingerprint registration, or a law dealing with the bank of information on abandoned children. These acts may contain certain provisions on personal data. The codes on administrative offenses and the criminal code would contain provisions on liability. And the one thing that I would like to stop is the Civil Procedure Code, which was amended recently, actually last year, and which now gives any data subject who resides in Russia the right to file a claim against any company, including a foreign company, at the place of his residence. So it's basically the same as with the consumer disputes. Now, all these legal provisions are implemented by way of certain regulations, including government regulations. For example, the government has issued a resolution that establishes the levels of private data protection. There are four levels that the companies should consider depending on the type of data they process, depending on the volumes of data, and things like that. So the measures, the organizational and technical measures, would depend on the level of protection and the information processed. Then we have orders of the Federal Service for Supervision of Communications, Information Technology and Mass Media, Roskomnadzor. This is the regulator. I would probably refer to it as Rosco for just to be just to make it easier. And others of other authorities. These are basically the Federal Security Service and the Federal Service for Technical and Export Control. It is interesting to note that these two last bodies play a rather significant role in terms of technical measures that are to be taken by the data processes.